Hello and welcome to Llama Talks podcast. Today we're going to be debating stuff. So we've got a few topics lined up, and then if we need more, we can always do that.
And if we don't get through them all, we can carry some over to next week.
Yeah, I mean we've only got 3. So should I announce the 3?
Well, no, we'll go through them. We'll go through them as it comes. But the reason we are debating is because we ended up having the longest debate in our friendship group.
Yeah.
About
what
fictional characters and which fictional character was the best.
Excuse me, Koala Man isn't fictional.
I'm sorry.
I love Koala Man.
Meme characters, and
He's not a meme character. I found him on the internet.
Okay,
I like Koala
whatever.
Man. Basically, Koala Man was a drunk guy who, I just saw a video, I'm assuming he was drunk, who got a teddy bear koala and cut a face in its stomach and then wore it as a mask, and he looks awesome. And also kind of scary.
Talking about scary things, our current bot, because we're recording on Discord, link in description, is really, really creepy. It announced that you tell it to record and it goes, "Craig is now recording," but it's got a really deep voice and it's so weird.
And it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I like that word. That's a fun word to say. Heebie-jeebies. Say it.
Heebie-jeebies. Yeah.
Fun word.
That's a good word. We like that word.
Okay, so back to the debating.
The debating. We're going to debate.
Let me make my paper sound. That doesn't work when it's a whole book.
Paper sound?
Yeah, you know when news reporters they get their paper and they hit it against the desk to align it.
Oh, what
Yeah.
It doesn't really work very well. You need to have properly loose pieces of paper.
Yeah. So basically, our debate.
First topic.
Our debate was about whether Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon is the best, or Barney from Barney the Giant Purple Dinosaur, or Koala Man, who I think.
We had another one though. The other one.
No, he didn't. It was Barney, Toothless, and Koala Man. Maybe you'll get. Yeah, I thought you might be getting confused with Florida Man, because Koala Man is also Florida Man, and he has a knife gun. That's how he wins. I
mean, they were making up some proper gibberish about these fictional characters.
Toothless with his pinpoint blast and travelling at the speed of sound, that's real. That is
that is genuinely in the book.
But
in the movies and whatever.
And Koala Man is real.
Whatever. But yeah, I'll probably, if I can work out how to do it, there'll be a set of little votes, and you can vote for which one's your opinion now.
Yeah, a vote for Koala Man. Vote for Koala Man. Just like Mumbo for Mayor, but he didn't get any votes.
That was so funny.
Yeah. He didn't vote for himself. Alright, so yeah, vote for Koala Man. I will definitely go and vote for Koala Man.
Okay. Our next topic is one that we've probably talked about before, but it got suggested in topic suggestions. So we're going to have an actual organised debate about sailing and surfing.
Surfing is better than sailing.
That's clearly Llama's opinion.
Yes.
My opinion is I'm definitely for sailing.
You're wrong. Hang on. We're talking about in a fun sense, not a travelling sense, because if it's travelling, then it's obviously sailing. So we're talking about a fun activity.
As a fun activity, sailing's... I would say it's easier. It's not a lot easier, but it is easier, it's not as physically straining. It's just as tiring. If you spend a day sailing and a day surfing, it'd probably be just as tired. But it doesn't take as much, you don't have to be as strong to sail. You can do it.
You don't have to be strong to surf. You literally can just paddle and then just ride a wave. Or even get your friend to push you. You can literally lie down on the board.
Yeah, but to surf, you have to have at least to actually surf, you have to have at least a vague sense of balance. Like sailing, you just
And
sit
the
in
reason
the boat.
Sparrow is
on the
sailing
rope.
is because he has no balance and no muscle.
With sailing, you just sit like to be able to sail at all.
I've been sailing with you, and you have to like pull the weird ropes, and you have to run to the other side of the sailing boat, and then you have to like twist a little thing.
But to be able to move and actually sail, you basically just have to sit and hold a rope and steer. And then if you steer too far, then it flips, and you have to go and sit on the other side of the boat.
Yeah, but you still
especially in a small boat, isn't that
pulling a rope is like basically the same as paddling. Plus, you don't even.
Yeah, but if the second you have to stand up on a.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You can just lie
down.
Yeah,
but that's not actually surfing then at that point, is it?
Yes,
That's bodyboarding, isn't it?
Not if it's on a surfboard. If it's on a surfboard, it's surfing.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
It does.
Bodyboarding.
My surfing instructor told me.
Yeah, but it's a beginner's thing, realistically.
Yeah. Well, it's still surfing though.
I wouldn't count that as surfing.
I mean, it does look cooler standing up.
Exactly. If somebody's flopped on their belly paddling, you're like, oh, they've got a bodyboard there, or whatever they call. I don't think what they're called now. Whereas like somebody's like proper stood up and like riding the waves, it actually looks cool.
Being a sick, gnarly surfer dude. I'm a sick, gnarly surfer dude.
Like, whereas with sailing, you're not looking at what they're doing, you're just looking at them going, oh, look, it's a sailing boat. Like, when you see a sailing boat on the horizon, are they like pulling on all the ropes and like going really fast? You're not, you're just like, oh, look, it's cool, it's a sailing boat.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at a surfer, you're like, oh, they're just kind of lying down. You're like, oh, look at that, they're like all flipping all over the waves.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Being a surfer is cooler.
Being a surfer is like, actually, like, the equipment's simpler, I have to admit.
Literally.
A surfboard is literally just a shaped board of pretty much anything.
Yeah, it can be, like, surfboards are weird, like, there's different shapes. Where we live, the waves, they're alright, but they're not big, so I've got a longboard so I can catch the waves easier, and it's made out of, I don't know, what's the stuff that you can break apart and it looks like snow?
Polystyrene,
but it's like, it can't go into the sea. So that's like my surfboard, but you can have like...
I doubt it's actually polystyrene, is it polyester or something?
I think it's polystyrene, to be honest. I don't know what it is, but it's like something like that. It's definitely something like that, like the white little balls that like are stuck together. Because it's really easy, but you can have hollow ones that are really small and made out of plastic, and that's the ones you do tricks on, like do backflips on waves. I can't backflip on waves.
Yeah. Also, like genuinely, surfing, they are quite different. Surfing's like more of like a enjoy yourself down the beach kind of thing. Sailing is more like I want to go to the Isle of Wight, or I want to go to. Oh yeah, I just gave away our location. We live somewhere where we could sail to the Isle of Wight. There you go. We live on the south coast. Boom.
Oh no, they're gonna find us. Oh no.
No.
Our 40 subscribers are gonna come and find us because they're that invested in our podcast. Be realistic.
I know, right?
I've actually noticed we're actually gaining subscribers and followers on Instagram, which I am stoked about. I'm very, very happy with. Yeah. I haven't done anything to promote it at all.
We're getting there. I'm trying my hardest to do as much as I can to get us off the mark. But in between topics, here's a good time to say I've just choked on some spit.
Yes, it's definitely a good time to say I've just choked on some spit. We all needed to know that.
Sorry. I can cut that bit out, or I can cut that bit out.
No, leave it in. That's comedy.
Comedy. Okay, I'll leave it in. Here would be a good time to say, please share this channel with your friends so that we can get off from like 5 subscribers and actually get somewhere. Maybe people who we don't know can listen to it. Would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be totally sick.
So suggest it to your friends, and then your friends suggest it to their friends. That'd be great. And then
because we try to make good content. We try.
But also, it's a lot easier when there's more people because we get lots of suggestions and stuff, and you know what
we're
you actually
doing
want to
sailing
talk
and surfing, which is very much us topics.
Yeah.
But no one else really cares. So if we
this sailing and surfing was an actual topic suggestion we got on our Discord server.
Yeah. But that's from one of our friends who knows us, one of our personal friends who knows us, and knew that we had a debate about that before, like, not on... I think we might have done a little bit on podcast, but we haven't gone into it fully. So, should we move on to our next topic?
Our next topic is homework. And we have... I'm somewhere in between with this topic, and you're definitely not.
Yeah,
I would say.
Alright, so, homework. Should you have homework or not have homework?
I think you should, but I'm not entirely sure the way they always do it is the best way of doing it.
I don't think you should have homework.
I think it's good to know whether you've actually understood it or whether, because like being in class, you've got people to help you, and it's good sometimes to know if you can do the skills even if you're not in a classroom environment, if you're like, it's kind of a little bit more chilled in a way. But I feel like the knowledge organisers, I know we've covered before, I feel like they're not a good way to go about it. And long
rubbish.
Long extended writing tasks and just finishing work you've done in class isn't always the best. I think you should do the work in class. It should just be a check to like recap and stuff, and
like maybe like 10 questions that go over, like 10 questions that go over the lesson and be like, do these 10 questions.
Like actually, I think an occasional Haggerty task, for example, that is relevant to what you've been doing in class isn't the end of the world.
Instead of them like giving us like 10 and being like, have them done by Tuesday.
Yeah, when it's like Monday.
See, I think there should be no homework and keep your school life and your personal life separate. Because also homework is stressing a lot of people. It's like mental health is a big issue these days.
I think
homework is very, very stressful.
Honestly, I think part of the problem is we know more as a society, as a world. There's more information to learn because it's constantly new stuff being discovered. Like, and as the exams get harder, there's more and more stuff to cover. So they have to send you to do more and more of it outside of school. So I feel like they don't have a lot of a choice, which is, I know not everybody would like this, but in many respects, I feel like it'd be better put an extra year on education and go 1 year further, even 2 years further, whatever, just for up to sixth form. Don't make it compulsory, but say you extend standard school by 2 years.
Yeah,
like you take a big test at GCSE that is more like an original GCSE.
Basically, you're not having GCSE and putting the GCSE where you would normally have A levels.
Yeah, and then you can A-levels are optional, but make it suggested, like, you know, make it the common thing to do. Lots of people go to A-level, but for those people who really don't want to stay in education past 18, because they're just not as academic or whatever, or just prefer other stuff, then they can go and get a job and live whatever, do what they want to do. But if you want to learn more about stuff, and if you want to do a bigger job, a harder job, maybe, then say bigger and better, not necessarily better, but if you want to do a harder job, then you can, like university, but put another step in.
I like that.
More education, because then it just drags it out a little bit and means that it's not as much stress as and constantly doing it. Suddenly, like, just it'll make it a little bit easier. Make sure you properly all understand, or like make the exams optional. So have a couple of like options to do it. So you could do it. You add an extra year, and you could say you could do it when you would normally do it now, or you could do it at the start of the next year or the end of another year. So if you need an extra year, you can have a complete extra year. If you want a little bit, where you have the summer holidays to kind of keep going and revising and stuff, and then you take them at the start of in September or whatever, you can do that, and you have a couple of options of when you can take it. That would work as well.
I really like that. I did have something to say, but I've forgotten now. I was just like,
that's just my opinion.
That's a good opinion. I like that. So, yeah. So you're basically saying less homework and then like extra school years.
Yeah, spread education out a little bit. Have it just...
Because I think also our society is so fast-paced. We just need to slow everything down a bit. There's no need to rush.
Also, like, people... everybody's saying, like, oh, robots are going to take over, but I don't actually see that as a problem in a weird way. Like, if robots do all the bad jobs and the jobs that nobody wants to do, or even if there are people who would do it, that shouldn't be the people who would normally do that put out of a job and, you know, have no money or anything. That should be an opportunity saying, you know, we don't need people to do all the jobs. The robots can do that, and as things get more and more automated, people can spend longer in education, and as we live longer, and
so then that sort of adds like problems of how will people get money and stuff.
Well, that's a whole separate issue with the fact that I don't think money is the best way of dealing with anything, really. But like
that's a whole separate.
That's a whole separate issue, but it is kind of related in that, like, if people don't have to get jobs and they can spend longer learning about what they want to know and then spend less time working and more time doing, because there's less jobs that need doing, and then people can spend longer in what they actually want to do. And if people want to do a job that a robot would normally do, then they can go for that, but you don't have to, and it just makes it a little bit like chill, the whole thing. Just make it a little bit more chill.
I like your, like, that. I just really like that. I have nothing to say now. I just that was very good, Sparrow.
Thank you.
I think we've got like a good note to end on, because we've had like a 20-minute podcast already, considering Craig joined at like 1:45. So I think we've got a 20-minute long podcast that you have to edit, which I'm very happy that I don't have to edit.
I do, because if you're on our Discord, link in description, you would have seen we announced that we may not have one out today, and then we did, because
I found time to record.
I'm amazing, can edit.
Should I do the outro? I was very proud of your outro last time because my Wi-Fi died. I was very proud of it. I'm very proud of you, Sparrow.
Why, thank you.
Okay, so like, comment, share, subscribe. Do a little mishmash. You can follow us on Instagram at Lamtalks Podcast. It's also down in the description, as well as our Discord. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.